we officially open the meeting. Okay, it is 6:30, so we are going to get started. Welcome everybody to the February meeting. And I want to welcome anyone who is visiting today. Do we have any visitors, first of all?
Yep, I'm visiting. My name is Nick.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
I am well. Thanks for having me.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. This page right here is a list of our sponsors and the folks and the other organizations that we have associations with. Digital Pro Labs and Finer Works are our main sponsors. And our club we are a member of the Greater New Braunfels Art Council and also of the PSA. The Camera Exchange in, let's see, that's in Austin, I believe. We do recommend that you frequent local businesses. And I'm less familiar with Photomatics, but it's obviously one of the organizations that we recommend people use when they have a need. Okay, we have 3 different places that you can find us on the internet. We have our own website, the New Braunfels Photographic Society, and we have a meetup, and then we're also on Facebook. Actually, we have a 4th one now, I keep forgetting. We have a YouTube channel, which is where you will find the meeting videos if you cannot make a particular meeting. All right, so each month the minutes are posted out on our webpage, and we are supposed to go out and review those minutes so that we can approve them in this meeting. So hopefully everybody did that, or at least a good majority of us did that. So I will need a motion to approve the minutes from January.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Okay. All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, next on our agenda is the Treasury Report, and Sharon, you're up.
Thank you. We opened in January 1st with $2,271.83. I've continued to receive membership checks and membership through Venmo. So we had $5,000, don't I wish, $505 membership fees I received in January, and 21 cents in interest on our accounts. I returned a membership fee to someone who won one of the awards last month, the yearly awards, the annual awards. And I had an expense of $300. That's what we paid for the promo codes that will be given out one at a time over the months. Whoever wins the assignment each month will get a promo code for $25. That's for Digital Pro Labs. You can spend it there. It's like it's not like a gift certificate in that you have to spend the whole amount at once. You can't have some left over and use it at a different time, but it's pretty easy to spend that amount of money there in a short period of time, I find. So our total expenses were $330. We ended the month of January with $2,447.04. And I just noticed as I was reading this that it says 31 December, and I will change that and send Beverly and Melissa a corrected copy. I have $60 worth of membership checks, and actually I just received another one today, and a membership fee of $30 in the Venmo account. And that's, oh, the other thing I wanted to mention to everybody is we felt that we needed a second person on the account in case something happened to me, or I was incapacitated, or I was out of town just, and you needed some money from the account for some, club purpose. So we added Holly to our account. So if I'm off in Bali or something and you need something done with our account, Holly should be able to take care of it.
Perfect.
Bali? Yeah, if you're in Bali, we're definitely looking at the account.
Good idea.
We might have an audit at that point.
I would if I were you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
And that slipped right by me. You sent that to me, and I didn't even see the ending date on that report either. So
I'll fix that.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to start into our new business. Just a reminder that anyone who has not paid dues for 2021, they are due, and effective in March. From this point forward, in order to participate in the challenges from March going forward, you'll need to be in good standing. So if you have not paid your dues yet, please be sure to do that. I'll go back for a second. You'll be able to find the information on our YouTube channel, or probably even on our webpage, but there have been some notices sent out as well as a reminder. You can either Venmo it to at NBPSRB, or you can send a check to Sharon Deeney at this address, 1017 Star Ridge, Spring Branch, 78070. Also just to mention that there are discounts available if you happen to be a PSA member and you need to provide your PSA number when you're paying your dues. All right, so the first thing on the agenda tonight is we are a member of PSA. Our club is a member of PSA, and our club has been participating in an inter-club competition. I'm going to turn it over to Dennis real quick to talk about that. And then I've got on the next slide is a list of those people who submitted photographs for this time that's due now to PSA, that our selection committee just went through. Anybody can participate. We can only submit 6. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Dennis, for you to talk about a little bit. You let me know when you're ready to switch over and show the list of names of who was selected.
Okay.
Well, as Melissa said, we're participating in the inter-club competition. It runs for a whole year and it's in 3 phases. We've already completed phase 1. That was in November. Phase 2 is what Melissa was talking to you about right now. We picked the 6 pictures and have submitted them to PSA. Now we're getting ready for phase 3. And I sent an email out to everybody today requesting anybody who wants to submit a picture to please do so and submit it to me by the 12th of March. Mistake in the email at the end, it's the 2nd of January, but obviously that's not true. It's the 12th of March is when I need those submissions. The requirements are in the email that I sent you, but there is no theme. Unrestricted content, you can use all forms of manipulation that you want to. You just have to submit a JPEG to me, and we'll get together with a selection committee and pick the 6 images that will be sent to PSA around the 1st of April. So I guess you can go ahead and put up the list of names. And if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and you know, your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them.
This is the list of photos and a little clip, really, of the photos that were submitted for this particular phase, phase 2. Congratulations, everybody.
Yes, congratulations.
So, I guess what's next, Dennis? You need to, I mean, you submitted the email today, but I guess we're going to need a new selection committee for the next round.
We have to have a new selection committee. If I get the pictures by the 12th, then sometime between after the 12th, within a week or so, the selection committee should get together and pick the 6 pictures. And then around the 1st of April, we'll submit them to PSA.
Okay, so is anyone interested in participating on the selection committee this time? You don't have to tell us today, but email us in the next day or so. In particular, if you're already a member of PSA, it would be a great opportunity for you to participate in selecting members from our group to participate in this inter-club competition. We did really well in the last competition. We had 2 honorable mentions, and but everybody in the club did well. They scored really pretty high.
I have a question. So are we changing the committee members every time there's a new round?
We have. I don't think
okay.
we two, but we sort of did the last couple of times.
Well, we'd like to get some people that are not on the, the board of directors, to participate in the selection committees. So that would be nice.
Yeah.
Is it a consideration that if, excuse me, that if somebody submitted a photo that they should not be on the selection committee, or does that not pertain?
Well, the way it's worked in the past, if somebody had submitted a photo, or a photo was submitted that was one of the selection committee members, the selection committee member did not vote on that photo.
Okay.
We've had limited participation. So we've sort of kind of had to adjust for that.
Yeah, we need more participation from members to volunteer to be board members or, you know, committee members on that in order to avoid the, you know, having a committee member is being someone that also has photographs in the mix.
Yeah.
Right.
Melissa, what is the process for going through the photos and selecting them? Is that a one evening job, or does that...
I'm going to let Dennis answer that question.
Well, we select the photos. Well, I collect the photos and I send however many there are. Last time I believe there were like 18 or 20 photos. I send them out to the selection committee members. They get you know, a few days or maybe a week to look at them, and then we've gotten together on Zoom and went over the photos and picked the 6. And the, you know, the Zoom meeting usually took about an hour or 2 hours, depending. We've gone through it twice. And
so, don't you use some PSI?
There's a PSA rating system that you know, that I send out to the selection committee, or I can actually, I have it and I can send it out to the whole you know, group of people in the club if they're interested in that. That talks about, you know, how you rate the photos and how you go about grading them.
Hey, Dennis.
Yep.
Have we gotten the critique and scoring back from the last color and black and white photos that were sent in?
Melissa had it.
Yes. I posted those on Facebook yesterday. It was from January's assignment photos and the black and white photos.
Okay. Did any of those photos score 9s?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
We had four that scored 9s.
Okay, so since I've been the chairman of that committee for the last 2 go-rounds, and I can share with you the process that we used. It was the first time we did it, we just went with photos that people submitted, and we had no conflict of interest on that one, except Sharon was a board member and one of Dennis's photos came up for consideration. Sharon just abstained from voting, and Sandy and I voted, and we both agreed that it should be submitted. The last go round, it was myself, Dennis, and Scott. And what we did was we used photos that were submitted, photos that were submitted the first go round but weren't selected, okay? And then we also used photos that had come back on critiques that we had been doing from the different shows that we did that scored 9. And what we did for the last go round was I picked my top 6, Dennis picked his top 6, Scott picked his top 6, and that's how we culled the photos down to 18 photos because we had close to 30 photos to look at. And turns out that a couple of Dennis's and Scott's was the same ones that I picked. So we actually had 16 to look at. So then we started the hard process of actually going through those 16 photos and deliberating, and each of us voting. And because some of the photos that I picked were Scott's photos and Dennis photos. So the way it worked was if Scott's photo came up in the blind, then Scott didn't vote. It was just Dennis and I. And same thing with Dennis's photo. And I will tell you right now that both of those photos are photos that I went out and pulled from our different assignments and things of that nature that I thought were worthy to go forward. So, but moving into this last one for the year, we would like to get a broader range of people to sit on the committee, maybe even 5 people instead of just 3. So that if we do have a person's photo come up, we'll have more than just 2 people voting for it. But that's just an idea. Okay. So really take this as an opportunity to submit something that you're really proud of, and let's give it a real good shot. That's all I got.
Okay. Yes, and we probably should consider those that got 9s in this last go round from January. We won't have, we also submitted some from February's, but they won't be back in time, I don't believe. So we can forward that to you if you're willing to head that up again, Victor.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
We just need, I'd like to get 3, maybe 4 more volunteers. Impossible. Okay, we'll work with what we get, of course, but Dennis as the rep, everyone still needs to send their photos to Dennis. Dennis is the one that got the critique and feedback back. So he knows which photos scored 9s. I think we should, consider those. But obviously, whatever the selection committee picks, if it's a photo that the photographer didn't actually submit, he only submitted it as an assignment photo, and he doesn't even know it's going up for the possibility of going to PSA, Dennis will contact that photographer and say, hey, the selection committee really liked your photo from January in the assignment or in the, I believe you said it was black and white.
Yeah.
And if you got qualms about that one going up and don't want it to go up, then we'll drop it from the mix. Okay. We're not going to do anything the photographer doesn't want. But we're just trying to, put the club's best foot forward. And we have so many excellent photographers. It's getting, well, it's a difficult task, but it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Victor, Dennis, after our last, the committee meeting to pick ultimately those 6 photos, I started thinking about something, and that was, you just brought up that an image was picked that wasn't submitted by the artist for that. Is there anything in the bylaws, or should there be something in the bylaws that if you as a member submit a photo to the club, whether it's for an assignment image, a black and white, or a color, that when you submit that image, you are in essence allowing the club to use that photo for these type of things? Has that ever been thought about? Because I know a lot of times if you submit an image for like a show, you have to sign an agreement that you're giving them permission to use that image as well. So that might, going forward, help us to be able to pick photos if the members know that when they submit a photo for the monthly competitions, that it can also be picked by the club to represent the club in shows.
Yeah, I don't never done it in the past. Now, the photos that go to PSA, the photographer has to sign a piece of paper that gives them permission to use the photo. They don't own the photo. The photographer still owns it, but he's giving them permission to, you know, put it on their website.
Yeah, I don't think that we need a bylaws change for that. I think it's easy enough for us. I mean, we talk about it in the meeting here, and then you know, on when it actually happens, which I believe, well, if it does happen, I think it's easy. Dennis has to reach out to him to make sure he has the PDF waiver for PSA. So I think that would work. Okay, and maybe just not a bylaws change, but maybe Holly, if you don't think it's appropriate, let me know. But maybe Holly could just do a one-liner at the bottom of our webpage. It says, any photos submitted for any New Braunfels photographics, any activity could potentially be used for marketing purposes, just for marketing purposes. I don't think we should go all the way to competition purposes, because if a person submits something this year but leaves the club next year, they may want to submit a photo in another PSA club. So it's totally up to them. And of course, we wouldn't be submitting a photo from someone that wasn't even in the club. So I don't even see that as a possibility either. So.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Just March 12th. That's when I need the photos.
Okay. Great. So we've been working on updating our logo for the club. And is Albert here tonight?
I am here.
Hi, Albert. I'm going to let you talk about this and let me know when you're ready to reveal.
Well, we got together and we talked about a couple of ideas and elaborated on a few revisions that came across from a designer, and we finalized a last revision that we thought was simplified but elegant at the same time. It kind of highlighted some of New Braunfels' features, such as the bridges, or the Faust Bridge that's here. And I think it turned out well. We got several versions of that, so we can use it for the website or printed materials, brochures, etc. So sure, go ahead and reveal it.
And here we go. This is our new logo. We decided to do that this year because this is our 10th year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's our 10th year. So we wanted to update.
So we took some of New Braunfels' ideas as far as colors. We thought outlining established in 2011 would carry us over, instead of having some text, saying 10th anniversary, so we don't have to revise it next year as well. I thought it turned out pretty well.
And with the Faust Bridge in the camera, in the center of the camera.
Yep. Great.
Nice job. A nice, clean, crisp image.
Exactly.
Okay. It's exciting.
New look.
New look. Okay, so let's see, Daryl, are you here? If he is
here.
He is here. You must be muted.
Just push down your space bar to talk.
Daryl?
You're still muted, Daryl. Just hold down your space bar and then you can talk.
There you go.
Oh,
you're unmuted.
Just hold it down. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. The Anything Goes show opens in the morning. I don't know if any of our Ralph, did you enter the show today?
No.
No. I don't think any of our other photographers, I didn't see Scott there. Scott, did you enter the show? No.
Negative, sir.
I didn't see anybody there, any other photographers from our club there. But that's, the show runs through the 13th of March. And then at the next meeting, I'll indicate the information on the next show. Okay, any questions? Thank you.
So there is a new show that will be opening in, okay, so I'm confused a little bit, Daryl. This says that the iconic New Braunfels show, is that the one that's open to everybody? Their webpage said that it opens March. I just printed it, but I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. It opens March 15th.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess this show, this date right here is for the Anything Goes show?
Correct.
Okay, understand, got it. So the iconic New Braunfels one doesn't open until March. So we have time to work on that. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. So I said earlier, our club is a member of the Greater New Braunfels Arts Council. And they haven't really been very active over the last year, but they are kicking into high gear, it seems. So they're planning. They normally have, and I don't know, Ralph, you probably know more about this. Victor, you probably know more about some of these activities that they normally do. But this year they're having one great big festival where they're encompassing all activities for the same weekend. So this is what's coming up. It's going to be October 22nd to 24th. There's an artist reception on Friday evening with a dinner that night. And then on Saturday and Sunday, they will have booths for all kinds of artist participation. We are talking about whether we're going to participate in it as a club. We haven't decided that yet. I have a call in to Felicia, but she has not called me back yet to get a little bit more detail on how they're handling things this year. But regardless, it's sounds like a fun weekend if anybody's interested, and we'll keep popping this up so that you'll be aware of it. The other thing that they are doing is Senior Saturdays, starting in January. It started back in January, and it seems like it's every weekend at the headwaters of the Comal. There's all kinds of activities going on. And Victor, you were going to be offering a class, right? Some kind of a class for the seniors. Have you participated in that yet?
No, not yet. I went out and did a site survey to see what facilities were available. And the photography class they wanted was cell phone photography. And I teach one of those at the school, but it's PowerPoint driven. So the AV support out there is not that great. So I'm in the process of coming up with some handouts, and I'm either going to print some poster boards or something like that to kind of help a little bit, but it'd be a kind of a class on cell phone photography and some of the apps out there to, do some cell phone editing, and then do a short walk around the facility, take some photos and go from there. I saw an email today about an event going on by Texas Parks and Wildlife that this might play into, but I don't have any details on that yet. But once I get more details, I'll let everybody know.
Right. I saw that also. It came from Barbara Shirley, and she's actually here tonight.
Okay, great.
So maybe,
well, if you've got it fit into your presentation somewhere, if you could give her some time to get,
well, it'll be in our new business. We can, we can talk about it in the new business section, which I think is not, it's pretty much now. So this is all I know about this, but if anyone's interested in this or volunteering, let us know. Send us a note to our email box and let us know. Okay, Barbara, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, do you want to talk about the Texas Parks and Wildlife event that we got an email from Beverly about earlier today?
Yeah, what it is, it's the citywide nature challenge, and a lot of times it usually covers Bexar County and a bunch of other counties. All the counties are listed on the flyer. And what I noticed is that this group tends to take a lot of bird pictures. And I thought maybe the group would be interested because they're wanting native plants, native animals, and you use a app called iNaturalist that's a free download onto your cell phone. And you can either use your cell phone to take the pictures, or you can use your camera to take the pictures and then upload them, because they also have a website. And sometimes it's easier to upload your pictures from the website than it is off the app. And they usually have a friendly competition with Austin to see which group ends up with the most native species, either plants or animals. And it starts, I don't have the flyer in front of me, but it starts sometime in, I think, April. And there's a guy by the name of Craig Hensley who works for Texas Parks and Wildlife, and he is the head of the nature trackers, and he is based out of the Cibolo Nature Center, and he's the one that's kind of running this. I got in on the meeting for it, trying to get more people involved because of my sister-in-law is friends with him. And so they drugged me into it because I did it last year. I went out to the family ranch. Since I don't live in the counties, I live outside. I live in Gillespie and it's not covered. So I took pictures there and then would send and then just uploaded them. And you'll have a little place where you can go in, and there's the website is listed on there where you can go in and sign up to do the city nature challenge. And so that when your pictures are uploaded, it automatically gets sucked into that group, and people go through and volunteer to go through all the pictures and make sure that they're actually native species of plants and animals.
Okay, do the pictures have to be taken in a park?
No, they can be taken anywhere. They can be taken anywhere. They don't need to be in a park. You can take them in the park. You could take them in your yard. If you have birds coming to your bird feeders in your yard, or they basically anywhere. But it has to be in your county. No, you just have to, it has to be within the counties that's listed. That's listed. Okay. So if you don't live in that county, but you drive and go to that county, you can still do it, because there's a way when you go in, the app has a map that you can actually pinpoint on a map where you took that photo. And so they can go back in and look and kind of get a radius of, okay, these species are showing up here, because it's a way for Texas Parks and Wildlife to know what is out there and where it is, without them all having to go out themselves and look for it. Okay. Because you're being kind of like a citizen scientist, or whatever they call it. Sounds like a good event that anybody can participate in. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do a lot of hiking. I mean, if it's just something that you walk out your back door and it's there, and you want to add it to it, you can. Okay. Thank you. But Greg Hensley would be the person really to get more of the information from. And he does sometimes teach classes on how to use the app. Because I've taken a couple of classes from him on actually how to go in and use the app, because there's a lot of different things you can do with it. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. Is there anything else new that anyone would like to bring up?
Hey, Melissa, I'll just add a quick update. During the course of the meeting, if I've been keeping up with the chat correctly, we've got 2 volunteers to sit on the judging panel, Holly and Jeff. Okay. So if there's anybody else out there that wants to sit on the panel, just you can text me in the chat. Okay.
Thank you, Holly and Jeff. I'm not up with the chat. Thank you, Victor. Okay, anything else? All right, moving on. As I said earlier, we were talking about this, our January assignment photographs from Something Old and our January black and white photos were sent to PSA to be judged. And we did get those critiques back. Our judge was Heidi Stover. She's from California, but that's really about all we know about her. And the critique came back last week, and they are now on Facebook, on our Facebook page. So you can go out there and look at those at your leisure. We can only send 30 photos a month. So that's why 2 groups of photos got sent. For February, we're sending in the color and black and white, and we'll have those back in a couple of weeks. So we'll post those when they come back. All right, it is time to review pictures. So let me go find my folder files, maybe. Here. Do I have to stop share and then share again? So, but I don't know where. Here we are. Sorry, y'all. Assignments. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. The first one up is Holly. This is our monthly assignment was negative space. So I'm going to turn it over to Holly.
But we can't see the whole picture.
Oh, you can't?
You can see thumbnails.
Just thumb.
Icons.
Huh.
Melissa, double click on the icon.
On which icon? I've got
The
it.
picture. The first picture. That's Holly's.
Hang on. I don't know what it's doing.
You probably have to share the window that has the preview or the actual.
Yeah. Let me try again.
How many screens do you have?
Well, I'm only showing one.
Do you have more than one monitor?
No.
Okay, then just show that and then just open up, double click on the photo, and whatever viewing platform your computer uses should open up.
Yeah, and I did that, and it's full on my page. You can still only see thumbnails?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just your file system.
Okay, let me close some stuff out.
It looks like instead of sharing the contents of that monitor, you're sharing a specific window or program that you have open. So if you try opening the picture first and then doing the screen share to open that or share on that picture, you might have better luck that way.
Okay, hang on a sec. All right, so I have the folder open. Now I have to go find screen, maybe. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
There.
That worked.
Okay.
Okay.
All
so
right.
This is, I titled it 441,000. And I took this the Sunday that the assignment was due. I set it up a couple of days earlier and tried it a couple different ways to do this, but it's in honor of all of our COVID deaths in the US. So I was just holding this beautiful handmade candle that a friend gave my mother. And I had a black robe over a chair and I had like a black hoodie on to try to really minimize skin showing. And I was holding it over a table. And I shot it at night with no lights on and had my ISO kind of jacked up on the camera. So it's a little noisy. And I did not get great focus on my hands because I was using my phone to remote trigger the camera. So I had only like 5 seconds to click the shutter on my phone and then get my hands in place. So it's not great focus, but the idea was just to kind of show this candle for all the people who have passed away from COVID and just have everything else be in blackness.
I think you did quite well.
I do too.
Yeah, very nice. And it looks, I mean, nighttime photography is difficult to start with, and it looks pretty in focus.
I wasn't sure if I should have the negative space be up or down, so that, or if I should have the candle more in the center, but I just kind of went with my intuition and decided to kind of leave it all around the bottom be kind of black. Because I think like holding a candle up higher, like for me means like hope, you know, like we're coming to the end of this hopefully soon.
You know, Holly, you might have just darkened that area right below your hands. It would have, yeah,
The
that might have helped a
table.
little bit.
Okay. Good suggestion.
Okay.
Great concept.
Yes. Ralph, you're up.
Yeah, very foggy day. And I should have made it a little bit smaller within the image, I think. But I think we're all familiar with the ball moss. So there we are.
Well, I have a lot of ball moss in my trees, but it doesn't look that green.
Well, this is a super foggy day. So it's like you're inside of a tent. Yeah. But this particular one was just that color. It was kind of interesting.
It is. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, this is mine. These are berries from a Chinese privet bush that we have on the farm. The bush and the berries are poisonous, so not even the birds eat these things. But I always think that they're just really pretty. This was kind of I worked for probably an hour out there trying to get some pictures of this. It was a little bit windy, so it was tough to get them completely in focus, but I still think it turned out okay. Just don't blow it up too big.
Yeah, that's always a problem with the wind in Texas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice blurry background though.
Yeah, thanks.
Very nice.
What was your shutter speed?
It was fast, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
If you were doing about 250 or higher, you should have been all right.
Yeah. I'm sure it was. I just
testing remember. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. All right. Next is Anthony.
Anthony isn't here tonight, but he did send in some note on this I wanted to read. He asked me to do that. Let's see. He said the first version had raffia for the nest, and the lighting angle created very dark shadows on the right side of the egg stack. He used a speed light and softbox with diffuser on camera left. For this one, he says, I used packing material from a Christmas present as I thought it added more interest as it was not normal nest material. I used a glue gun to affix the base egg to the bottom of a small clear plastic cup, trimmed about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom and turned upside down. I then stacked the other eggshells into the base shell. At first I had all white shells, but replaced one of the white shells with the brown shell to add more interest and tie in with the nest color. Moved the softbox to be directly in front of the shells. The shells and nest were placed on black foam board, and black foam board was used as the background. Edited in post to create a solid dark black background. I chose the bottom left for placement to create negative space and to give room for the cracked egg shell stack to go upwards, hence the name Cracked Up.
That's funny. That's a cool photograph. I've done photos with eggshells before, and it's interesting.
It's good work with the brown shell, really.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. Different, very different.
Yeah, the two colors in the darkness, it really is quite effective.
Okay. Brian.
All righty. This is it's trying to get a painting effect to the background. So I worked in post-processing and pretty much a straightforward shot except for the post-process, of course, the background. I was trying to frame it, the bird and the branch 1/3, and then the negative space 2/3. So that's it, basically.
That's
and
nice
the bird
job.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Is that a water drop underneath there?
Yes. Yeah, that black object there is, in fact, I got a couple of photos where the bird is actually hanging upside down to drink from that thing.
You did a nice job on the background painting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Very pretty.
Okay, Sharon.
This was when we were down in Rockport, and it was early morning, and this, I'm pretty sure from the wing color and stuff that it's a great blue heron. Took off. He was mostly in silhouette, though it was kind of hard to tell, and was flying towards the rising sun, which was a problem, but it also, I thought, made for an interesting picture. So I did a little post-processing, and I put a little vignette on it because the sun coming up over here was so bright that you almost forgot. I was afraid it would attract your eye away from the bird too much. So I put a little vignette on just so that you wouldn't just automatically look at the brightest spot there. That's it.
Yeah, I think that was effective.
But I know you like vignettes.
Your thinking was right to tone that down.
Yeah, it was quite bright.
Okay. Sandy.
Okay. I had read that negative space could be used to create a mood. And so when I saw that it was going to be a very foggy morning, I thought, well, maybe that would give a moody feel. And I knew where this barn happened to be out by itself. It's near town, but it sits by itself, at least until all the apartments keep taking over. And I tried several different post-processing things to see whether I liked it. In the simple black and white, I decided I liked the best, so I stuck with that.
You know, I realized you said that's fog, but when I saw that, what I thought of was Dust Bowl days.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I like it.
Very well done. Very well done, Sandy.
Thank you.
I like it too. All right, Dennis.
Well, I was just standing to the right of where Sharon was when she took that picture. And the bird was just sitting up there looking like at, the sunrise, I guess. And he just wasn't going to move and wasn't going to move. So I took the picture of him with him up there. Couldn't get him flying. But I thought it was, the colors are interesting. And
oh, Dennis, you could have thrown that beer bottle at him.
I was going to say rock, but whatever.
I left it in the room.
I'm sure.
Wine bottle.
I was going to say it's a wine bottle, not a beer bottle.
The colors are beautiful.
Yeah, they're really pretty colors.
Yes. Frank.
So this is my niece, Laura, and I wanted to use a negative space to emphasize her beautiful eyes. And so in Photoshop, I eliminated the rest of her face with dodging tools and other things. And then I came across a YouTube video that showed how to do a Gaussian blur and a divide, and then manipulate the levels to get the kind of colors that I wanted. And so this is where I landed. I thought this really just emphasized her eyes and is quite beautiful to me.
Yes, it is. She has beautiful eyes, and the colors are gorgeous.
It's fascinating too. It would be a really good advertisement.
Yeah.
Something. Eyeshadow, yeah. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's very creative, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eric.
So this was taken in my garage after my surgery. I'm not able to do a whole lot, you know, what I can lift and not lift, but flowers I can lift up and put them on a table. So it's just some flowers on a table with a black foam core board behind it. I've got a continuous light up, just, I mean, almost straight up above it, to do the shadow and everything else. But just, it was fun to get to be able to shoot again.
It was very sophisticated.
Nicely done.
Yes, I love it.
Thank you.
That was a good look.
Nice texture shows through. Yeah.
Tony.
So this is a picture from a recent walk or in and around the farmers market. And I, now seeing the other pictures, don't see that I don't have nearly as much negative space as some of the others. And so that's been very helpful to look at those other pictures. But I was interested in the fixtures and the metalwork on the top and tried to use the space from the sky and that to kind of emphasize that.
Where is this located?
It's the Farmer Co-op in New Braunfels, right next to where they have the farmers market. We were walking back and forth from our car. As I was walking back and forth, I noticed that. So it's kind of a couple of, I would say not even a block down from the farmers market in the by Krause's restaurant.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. Just wanted to be sure.
It's interesting.
Good tonality and texture.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Patricia.
Yeah, I took this one in my backyard. There's several trees that had some color left on the few leaves that were left. I overexposed it intentionally and then went back and worked on the leaves to give them some more clarity, a little more sharpness and color. To me, it just depicted the end of fall, the last vestiges of fall. And it was a little bit windy that day, but not too bad.
I like the simplicity of it.
Thank you.
Very Japanese feeling.
It is. It is a ikebana kind of, yeah. Very pretty.
Thank you. I did a little series of those on Facebook.
I saw them. I really like them.
Thank you.
You could actually, something like this, you could actually use on a wall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've just about decided on 3 that I would like to have printed. Thank you.
I wonder.
Oh, were you going to talk, Daryl?
I was wondering if you took that bottom branch out and rotated the picture to the left so that you had vertical in there, if that wouldn't have much more of an impact as far as the delicacy goes and a more uplifting, like Oriental quality to it. I'm just thinking, I don't know if that'd be better or not.
I can sure give it a try and see how it looks. I might have to take my little bitty leaf that looks like it's about to fall out of the picture off. But other than that, it might look quite nice. I'll try it. Mm-hmm. Thanks, good suggestion.
Okay. Scott.
This is my first attempt at a panning shot, so I hadn't really no clue what I was doing. I put it in my computer, put it in post, and I didn't care for the image a whole lot. And literally this is just me in Lightroom moving sliders every which direction, trying to come up with some kind of a look that, that I thought enhanced this image a little bit. And this is what I came up with. So that's about it.
I really kind of like the composition.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, I like the composition and the feel from it.
You feel like it's going really fast.
I like the softness of the colors in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
The end of it.
all of the stuff around him is blurred enough that if this was, you know, you could use it for some kind of advertising. You could put this on a wall. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I was happy with it when I was finished. And this is one of the few images that I can remember anyway that I actually went back and added grain, and actually quite a bit of grain. I like the grainy look of it. And I don't remember which slider I was moving. I think it was, well, I don't remember. I moved so many of them with this image, but it gave it almost a penciled look when I moved the slider. I'm like, well, okay, I kind of like that. That looks cool. So, and then I toned down the colors. I was going to make it a black and white image and didn't like that. And I started bumping the colors back up just a little and kind of went with this the muted colors a little bit. So, but I appreciate it, guys.
And I guarantee you, if you found that guy, he would want that on his wall, even though it's not perfectly in focus or whatever. He would want that picture.
I think so too.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Daryl, I'm interested to see what the story is on this.
Edgar Rubin was a Danish psychologist who was interested in how the brain works when it looks at visual objects. And he came up with what they've always called Rubin's image, a couple of vases. But as you look at the vase, you realize there are two faces looking at one another. Well, I didn't have a vase like that, but I had vases that shows the nose. So that's why I put the glasses above there.
Oh, I see it. I didn't see it before.
As soon as you said it, I saw it.
Yeah.
Now, the reason,
I didn't see that at all until you said that.
Well, that's one of those psychological sort of things that goes on in the brain. And they've discovered that not all brains are similar. All of it takes place in the back of your head here, in that lateral occipital cortex. And what happens is some people will be able to see something like that immediately, and other people need a heavy clue. And that's why I put the glasses up there.
Like it's a nose? Yeah, that's a heavy clue.
And I still didn't get it.
And what I saw was a pair of glasses on a pair of glasses.
Aha, clever.
And the funny thing is, Daryl, once you've told us, now I can't look at it and not see it.
I know, me either.
Yeah, that brings up, you remember the old image of one graphic in which you can say it's my young wife, or you can say, no, the picture is of my old mother-in-law.
Yes, seen that.
Yeah, well, that's along this same line. And as far as negative space, what I like to see is that the negative space here has become positive space. You got the head and the nose and the eyes. But then I allowed to have a lot of space around the edge so that I could comply with the assignment anyway.
Very clever.
Albert. Albert, are you muted?
I am not. I was waiting for it to appear.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So, no, it's fine. So I took this picture of my kids over our Christmas break or / vacation. And I did a composite. I did a little bit of motion blur and then layered them on with a little bit less motion blur, if that makes sense. Otherwise, it would be pretty smudged, but I kind of like the look and feel of it and the colors. I didn't want to brine them up too much or make it too saturated, but it gave it a nice contrast to their shadows, I think.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, what attracted me to this one was the color. It's beautiful.
The color and the calmness of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, right at sunrise.
Yeah, and the fact that you can see people, but it's just kind of a shadow. It would be also very decorative in your home.
Yeah, they liked it. I sent that off to them when I was done with my post-processing, and I cleaned up a lot of stuff that was in the sand and all that stuff. So I put a little bit of time into it, but I like the outcome.
Very nice.
It was really cool, Albert.
Very pretty.
Thank you.
Hey, when you say a composite, what do you mean?
Well, it was nice and sharp, and there was a couple of things in the sand. I cleaned all that up. I eliminated them, and I pretty much took the outline of my kids and the shadows they're casting there, right below their feet, and layered that on. And then I did a full motion blur on the entire image. If I left them in there, they would be smudged across, or there'd be a drastic motion blur on them. So I masked them off, and then I brought them back in. But
okay.
And then I added a I added a little bit of motion blur on them. That way they wouldn't be too sharp and really stand out. Just kind of blend in just right.
Thanks. I was just curious.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think you did that so well, because I thought it was a long exposure and they held stock still for a super long time. So great job with your processing.
I was gonna say that was impressive. I have three kids, and I could know. Yeah, so yeah, good job figuring that out a better way.
Yes. I actually took that with my iPhone.
Wow.
Wow.
Impressive.
I kept looking I took some shots with my Sony camera, but I kept looking, and then I found this one on my iPhone. I'm like, I really like this one. I'm gonna make it work somehow. And it turned out well.
It did very well.
Thank you.
Suzanne?
Hi. I kind of struggled with the assignment, and I thought I wanted to go to the prayer garden. The King is Coming up in Kerrville, because they have the open cross, and that gives a lot of negative space there. The ratios might be off. It's probably busier than it should be for the assignment, but I did use a medium gradual filter to help give the sky that blue feel. And the clouds were just wispy enough. I thought it really made it attractive. Minimal post-processing. The only thing I did do is I did use like the vivid settings to enhance the blueness of the sky.
I think it's beautiful. I did a little research, and I honestly did not see anything that said there had to be a set percentage of negative space or white space, as they call it. So, in fact, one of the pictures that I saw looked like it was really much busier than this, but they said because things were so blurred that it counted as a negative space. Only one thing was in focus. So I guess there's many ways to do it.
Well, it's just, this is called the open cross, and I felt that it could be used for the assignment. So that I went up to Kerrville to take a picture of this.
I think it's lovely.
Thank you.
Hey, Susan.
Yes.
You and I talked about this, and for everybody that doesn't know, Susan showed me a couple of her pictures, and we talked a little bit. And from the pictures that she showed me, it gave me inspiration to get off my butt and get out and go take some pictures. And I think a couple of days later, I went out there, and as soon as we're able to do field trips, I did a site survey of a couple other places out there. So we're going to do a day trip out there, do the Stonehenge 2. I found a couple of places to eat lunch, but I think we'll have a good time. But Susan, what I wanted to ask you was, you told me about one that had a tall cowboy standing there just looking at it and you thought you were going to go with that one. What changed your mind?
He was the statue in front with the Christ riding the stallion. He was pretty small, and I didn't feel that he was in focus enough standing in front of the statue.
Okay. Well, it sounded really good. So.
Yeah, I tried to work with it, but I decided that this one came out better.
Okay. Well, thanks.
All right. Thank you, Victor.
Barbara?
So this orchid was a gift from my son, Mother's Day of 2019. And it's bloomed twice a year, the last 2 years, and then this time. The stems have actually died down and this stem came up. But if you've ever had an orchid, the roots get kind of gnarly and not real attractive. So I put a black board up on the wall and opened my shades of the window and let the natural sunlight just hit it, and tried to get the color of those pictures or of the flowers. And so the reason I call it the gift that keeps on giving is because this is the 5th bloom that I've got out of this since 2019.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
It's good focus. Very good.
Yeah, the detail's beautiful.
Greg?
Is my picture up? I can't. It's still on the orchid. Last Saturday, I gave myself 30 minutes to find a photo. I hopped in my car and just started chasing the sun as it was going down. And I actually ended up on the same barn that Sandy took a picture of. And I took about 100 pictures from every different angle, and I just couldn't get anything to really pop. And I didn't have the fog to work with, so good for you, Sandy. And right across the street from that is an old abandoned farm.
Yeah.
And this was there. And I took a bunch of photos of this. There's a house on the left, a barn on the right. And it was all a bunch of clutter and trees underneath. And then I took a vertical one, and finally something popped in my head. And I was like, okay, this is where we need to go vertical with the shot. So I did one where I took out all the tree branches, but I thought that looked a little too bare. And I thought that added nice space to the windmill. And that's my story there.
Like it.
I think you accomplished what you needed to do. Pretty good.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm afraid the place is going to be gone soon.
I would have bet that was the windmill at Fisher Park. I almost submitted a photo of that windmill for this competition, and I didn't. And when I saw this photo, Greg, I said, well, I'm glad I didn't, because that's Greg's photo from Fisher Park. It looks just like the same windmill.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I thought I would throw you guys off by not taking a picture of a woman this week. So.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah. So thanks.
Interesting. I love it. Okay. Back to the presentation for a second. As soon as I get all the way down here. For the winner this month, well, that was not supposed to be there. Sorry, y'all. This month's winner is Albert.
Way to go, Albert. Excellent.
Congratulations.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Albert. Well done.
Yes, absolutely.
Albert, I'll be sending you the code you need to get your $25 thingy by email. That's okay.
And with the cell phone, I quit.
I do pictures with my cell phone all the time, but I never win anything. Okay, back to color photos. I think this, hopefully this is the right place. No, it's going to be this place. Sorry. And now I have to go back. This is just not the easiest thing to find out where I'm supposed to be. Screen. But I need to go back to, hang on a sec. Let me get to the screen where I need to be over here. All right. No, this one. Not intuitive. Sorry, you guys.
You're doing great, Melissa.
Sure.
It's not easy to get used to this program.
Right.
Let's see. February, color. Now it should be, where is this? Hang on a second. All right, color. It should be coming up just a second. Now let me do it again. Share. Color. Did that work? Can you see the thumbnail?
Well, we can see the duck. We can't see the duck, but it's little.
Okay. Still not the right one. I didn't have this problem last time. Screen. I don't understand why it's screen. Where is it? Color. It's got to be here. Now is it?
There you go.
You got
okay. Dang. Have to go open it first. All right, Patricia, you're up.
That's my duck. Yes, that's out at Brackenridge Park. He was almost submitted for the assignment, but I felt like the light reflecting off the rings going around him created a very definite pattern, and I just opted to go with the leaves. But he had very pretty coloration, I thought. And he was kind enough to swim slowly, so I could get it fairly clear.
Must be the food you were offering him.
Yeah, that might have helped.
It's unusual coloring.
It was soft.
So too.
Mm-hmm.
It looks painted almost, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Has a slight painterly effect. And he's drooling a bit. He's just had a drink.
Coloring is a fiesta duck.
Yeah.
All right, Holly.
Yes. Let's see. Waiting for the photo to show. There it is. Oh, back of the crosses. Yeah, I didn't go with negative space this time. I didn't keep with the theme for all of them, but this is one I'd love some feedback on because it's kind of an unusual. I'm not looking at the front of the crosses with all of the soldiers' names on them. This was taken in Italy, in Nettuno, when Curtis and I went there in 2017, and I loved these tall, I think they're cypress trees, me remembering wrong, but I would just love some feedback on it. Like looking at it now, I think I could have darkened the sky a little bit more, or maybe made it a little more vivid, increase the clarity a little bit, but composition wise, with where I was standing and how the crosses are laid out, that kind of pleased me. I kind of like that, and how these 4 trees are sort of taller than the rest in the middle. But I just kind of wanted to get some feedback on it.
So I love the back of the crosses. I love the position of the trees. I think this is a fantastic photo. I think for me, if you had stepped 2 inches to the right and gotten the perfect symmetry on that second cross right behind the first one in the front, but other than that, I think this is a wonderful photo.
Yeah, the trees seem to have a nice repetition pattern, and then you're looking straight down that row, and everything is very, very linear, looking towards the center.
I have to tell you, those are stone pines, sometimes called umbrella pines. And they are one of the few pine trees that'll grow here in Hill Country.
Oh, that's interesting. Thank you for that tidbit.
But they have to get really old to have those umbrellas on them like that. They are pretty trees though. They're very sculptured, you know, they look like sculptures almost.
Hey, Holly, have you tried cropping it in on both sides just so there's one cross in the middle and then diagonally going out? Have you tried that look yet?
No.
That would look really good. Try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like that.
You lose one of the elements. I would have to edit out one of the shadows, but it wouldn't be much. Okay, thank you guys.
Frank.
So this is, as it says, an elephant ear leaf. This is at the Botanical Gardens. It's from underneath, so it's being backlit by the sun. And I just like the little bit of shadow from another leaf on it, and the kind of curving stem there, and I like the color.
Yeah, but there's no repetition there. You missed that one.
Missed it. Yep.
Okay. Sandy, another duck.
Another duck. Patricia and I were in the same wavelength, I guess, except this one was taken in Port Aransas at the birding center there. And this is a green-winged teal. And that's it. He's a duck in the water.
And a pretty duck he is.
Yeah.
A cute face.
The sky's reflecting really nicely in the water.
I'm into bird pictures, pictures lately. I've been taking a lot of pictures of birds.
It's a lot of great detail in that.
Thank you.
And these feathers.
Dennis.
That's taken at Big Bend in the, I don't know, it's about 8:30 in the morning, and I just trying to get a picture of one of the ocotillos there with the sun on it, and I like the mountains and stuff in the background. The place is called Desert View, so that's why I named it Desert View.
Beautiful light.
Yeah. You were lucky to have that nice dark area right behind it. It really sets it off very well.
Yeah. I just keep looking at those beautiful mountains and their light in there, the space. It's that's the highlight for me anyway in this picture.
Oh, it's definitely one of the better parts.
Yep, excellent.
You know, it's nice you catch both the foreground, but you get the mountains. But, the sky in the background is a nice finish to the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a nice morning.
Is that a 24 mil
It's a 24 to 105. I don't know exactly. I can't remember what it was at, but could have been, yeah.
The 24 to 105?
Yeah.
Okay. Eric.
So another garage shot. Just swapped out a Gerbera daisy for the lilies. Just really the solitary, continuous light LED up above it. I didn't realize it till after I took the picture, just because the way the shadow of the daisy falls just in front of the glass. My daughter said that it looked like it was hovering.
Yes,
it does.
Exactly, it does. Looks like it's floating.
So
yeah,
like,
it does. Looks like it's floating. I was going to say that.
She was like, what'd you use to lift it up? Did you use fishing line or something? I was like, no, it's sitting right on there. So it was fun to shoot.
Great.
Good job, man.
Albert, I'm not sure Albert's here.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
I had to step away to get a phone call. But I saw everybody's comments. I take it that it was my image was chosen.
Yes. Oh, you weren't there when we said? Congratulations.
No, I had to step away. But thank you for that. This picture is a picture of my youngest daughter a few years back, and I was just kind of going through some images, just got into a folder that I hadn't seen in a while, and it captured my attention because she was staring right at the camera. I'm like, I'm gonna tinker with this one and just send it back to her. She was enjoying an ice cream cone, and we were just kind of monkeying around. I had just bought some lights and a background, so I was trying them out. I'm like, sit there, sit still. So I started taking some pictures, but I don't know. I just kind of liked the tone and the post-processing on that.
I think you should submit that for the interclub competition.
It's a wonderful shot.
Thank you.
A great portrait.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean,
yeah.
If you want to submit that.
Now, how did you get that background?
It's a backdrop. I had it. I was just trying it out. I had just purchased it and some lights, and I had her just sit down. I wish the chair would have been, the back of it would have been smaller, but I tried to crop it out. Or eliminate it, and it just wasn't looking right. But I don't know. I think it still turned out well.
It's authenticity to it, I think.
Yeah, does it? It almost looks like it's in some very old building somewhere.
Right.
So Albert, I might change the right side of the chair, which has kind of a mahogany look to it, to be dark, desaturated like the left side.
Right.
Although Albert, I've recently transitioned over to portraits and given that a shot, and I'm definitely giving my next model an ice cream.
Perfect. Well, after taking about 200 different shots, you'll find the one in there. Because she was silly in all the rest of them, and I got this one that was kind of a serious look, and I'm like, I really liked that she was staring right at the camera, and I think that made it.
And you can get them to do that when they're little, but when they turn into teenagers, they hide their face continually.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a challenge. I've taken a few shots of her that work, but it's a challenge because they get very impatient at that age.
Yeah. Stop taking pictures of me.
Yes.
It's very nice. I like it.
Thank you.
Daryl.
This is a mission church just south of Albuquerque. Little Spanish pueblo there. It's a portion of the church.
It's just too ornate, Daryl, I must say.
Daryl, was the stucco that white? Because they're usually that tan color.
No, this was very white. Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. Yeah. I thought it was one of your pictures from Greece.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was from Greece too.
Because of the blue sky against the white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way the sky is in New Mexico too.
This would make a nice wall hanging, wouldn't it, Daryl?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. It's got too many angles in it for a wall. You need something flat for a wall, don't you?
Depends on the wall, I guess.
You could put it in the corner, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. Next is Barbara. You're so lucky to get a picture of, oh my gosh.
Now, this was last year about this same time, and I was down in Rockport. I was driving down one of the back roads, and the friend that was sitting next to me said, you know, there's a northern harrier down there hunting. And so I had to turn the car around, and we had our cameras. And so when I saw it coming toward us, I stopped the car and stuck the camera out the window and got it as it flew by. I know there's motion in the wings, but I felt like the eye was clear enough to be a good photo. And then I also thought it, you know, fit the negative space for this month.
Yeah, that's an exceptional shot, and the softness in the wings only adds to the dynamics of the shot.
Yeah, the feathers are very clear except for that little bit of motion. I mean,
right. To get them in flight and to get their eyes that sharp is really hard to do.
No kidding.
That was probably one of 5 shots, maybe. The others, the eye wasn't quite as clear. So, but I like the wingspan on this one better anyway. So,
a super shot, really.
Mm-hmm.
I must have 2,000 shots of blurry birds.
Oh, I'll probably have more than that. I'm not very good at it.
How were you able to get above the bird? Because it looks like you're somewhat
it was hunting. And so what it was doing, it was, you know, this was like a flat field, and I don't know if there was a mouse or a snake or something down in the grass. So it was coming down, and then this was as it was going back up. I think it saw us and decided not to get whatever it was going to get. But there just wasn't any trees or anything behind it. So I was able to get the sky.
The perfect opportunity.
It's amazing, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Scott. He's peeking.
Yeah, so this hawk was actually sitting on the chimney of my house.
Oh, wow.
And I got multiple pictures of it. And then for this theme, you know, the negative space, I just went back to one of my photographs and started playing with different crops and, you know, how can I try to make this work? And this was just one of them that I came up with, of just like he's just peeking over the bottom of the picture. And I thought it was cool. So that's just the one I went with.
It's cool, and it could be used for the one in humor too.
Yes.
It almost looks like a studio shot, Scott.
It does.
Because of the lighting on his eyes, like you had 2 soft boxes or something.
No, he's just perched on my chimney, and it was kind of that, you know, gray overcast day that I was able to in post just go back and, you know, play with it and give it the white background, and yeah,
it turned out great.
What about instead of putting him at the bottom, why not putting him on the side? In other words, turn his head either one way or the other, or even at the top, upside down, like, hey, look, I'm peeking.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I tried all of those. I put him in the corner top. I was moving him all over the place. I had a little more of his body in at one time, and you know, honestly, a couple of different ways I thought probably would have worked for the look I was going for here.
This is more wine.
Yeah, this one I just like the way it looked like he was coming up from the bottom of the screen and looking over back at me, like, you know, peekaboo, I see you. And so that's kind of why I went with the one where he's coming up from the bottom.
It's really cool. I've only seen a hawk in my backyard once, and he was in the trees, so there wasn't any getting good pictures. The only thing that ever lands on my chimney are vultures. And well, I think they're ugly.
Yeah, if you want hawks, just start feeding the birds, and then they'll show up.
Yeah, but the birds are a pain in the neck too sometimes. So, but it's pretty cool. I like that.
Scott, we've got about 30, 40 doves, and once in a while I'll see a hawk out there.
Yeah, that's why I quit feeding the birds. My feeders got overrun with white-winged dove, and they would drain my feeders in a day.
Doves and squirrels.
Yeah.
It's impossible to keep squirrels out.
Well, if you give them safflower seeds, the squirrels hate it.
Sunflower seeds?
Safflower.
Huh.
Yeah, and there's also some bird seed that has pepper or something in it that makes it hot, and the birds don't mind it, and the squirrels don't like it.
They get used to it.
You know what I did was I hung.
So far. We got the squirrels, but they're staying off the feeders.
Yeah.
Well, I hung my feeders up a metal pole. I don't know, about 6 or 7 feet above the ground, and then I took Vaseline and put all up and down the pole. It's funny as heck watching them squirrels try to climb the pole with all the Vaseline on there. They cannot get up it.
It's funny. It is really funny until they wear it all off, and then they can. We hung them from trees downwards, and they would literally try to hang upside down and just annoying. So we quit feeding the birds. I can't keep them off the porch. That's the worst thing. They make a mess on the porch because they come and tell you when the feeder is empty. This one's mine. This is a pine tree that is on our farm. This tree, I hope, makes it. Last year we had a tractor trailer that ran into the yard and jackknifed right here in the front, right in front of that tree, and skinned like the whole bottom section on this side of the tree, the bark off of it. So we're hoping that it's going to make it. But it's just one of my favorite things about the farms, to look out and see that tree. There's a bunch of other trees up here in the foreground that I had to kind of go past to keep them out of it, but I was trying to keep in the negative space for theme for the month.
I'll say a prayer tonight for your tree.
Oh.
Melissa, I'll send you a little private message on how you can keep oak wilt out of it with that damage on it.
Well, it's a pine tree.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and we painted it.
My daughter had called right when you said what it was. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll hush
it's a
now.
pine tree. Yeah.
I'll hush. Thanks.
It's okay. Greg.
Once again, this is at my favorite place, a parking garage. The light was coming in that way. I did blacken in all the shadows so you couldn't see that it was a parking garage. I wanted her face turned that way, so I had to pose her body in a way that it would make sense that she would be facing that way. Her dress was really tight, so her mobility was really limited. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, I like the angles.
Nice use of those shadows, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's very attractive.
Thanks. Yeah, she opened up a boutique or a clothing line or something, and she's using this as her main photo on her page. So yeah, and she's a real estate agent down in San Antonio.
Very sophisticated.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ralph.
Yeah, I was walking downtown in New Braunfels during the MLK Day, and I saw this. I said, well, you know, it's very colorful. So I took this and worked it a little bit just to get a little more shadow detail. And that's it.
Wow.
That was with my bridge camera.
I don't know, Ralph. It's not very ornate, though.
You're right about that. It's not very busy. I know. It's kind of interesting.
Brian.
Okay, so this is the jail, county jail, old county jail. It's the museum in Gonzales. And the name of the photo is Stairs to Eternity. The reason being is those stairs lead up to the gallows.
Ooh.
Very interesting lighting. You got the warm tones below and the bluer or the cooler tones above. Is that just the way it was?
Yes, I didn't change any of this. Is pretty close to what came out of the camera. I had to use HDR to keep on the right-hand side to keep the jail from going totally black. But no, the colors, that wall that's what attracted me, was the textures on the wall and the colors.
Yeah, it's really a marvelous image. You got so much to look at.
Just a lot of texture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty.
Even the
Thank
stairs.
Right, the tread.
Yeah.
But all those textures work well together in the picture. That's what I like about it. It's a very harmonious piece.
I've been there and it's a fascinating place, isn't it?
Where is that again?
In Gonzales, there's a jail museum.
That's a really cool picture, man. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, is that something they give you a tour through?
I took this before the COVID, and they had hours, posted hours that you could go there. There were a lot of people in the room, so I was kind of limited as to, nobody was standing over there. Everybody was looking the other way at something. So I said, hey, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, I think all the different shapes and angles and texture make that a really good image.
And you can tell by looking through the door.
Yeah, that was the tricky part, was trying to keep the lighting balanced.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well, you get a really nice balance between the opening for the jail and the closed frame on the left.
Just a lot to see in it.
Okay. Sharon.
I loved the orange around the eyes on these guys. These are oyster catchers, and you can see oysters and shells and things all in this pile of this little island that they're standing next to. And I just thought the brightness of them was, of the bill and the eyes, was so unique.
They are fascinating. The fact that the eyes match the bill is
yeah.
starts.
Yeah, they're interesting little birds. Wow, big birds.
Okay, let's see if we have time to go through. We have about 15 more minutes. You see if I can get the black and whites opened. I think I have to unshare it first. Where am I? Stop share. It should be. It's probably not going to work. Did it work? Or do you still see thumbnails?
Oh, no.
You see, yeah.
Okay, now let me see. Now?
Yep.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, we have about 10 more minutes, so I guess we'll get through as much as we can get through. Sharon?
This is at a marina in Rockport, and I like the way the boats were lined up and seemed almost to curve. I thought it was more, it was a better picture in black and white than in color. That's about it.
Okay. Scott.
It's the moon on a cloudy day, cloudy night. I don't know why I'm fascinated with photographing the moon. I take a lot of pictures of the moon, and this one I wasn't even aware I'd really caught the clouds that way. It wasn't until I got it in post and you know, moved a few sliders around, and I just love the way the light. I kind of caught the light from the moon coming through the clouds.
Looks like a piece of art. What lens did you use to get the moon so clear?
That's a Sony 200 to 600 millimeter, and I had it in crop mode, so whatever that correlates to, I'm not sure.
About 800.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric.
What a surprise, another flower shot in the garage. Just different flowers, same vase as the previous one, and just black and white.
Very nice though, right?
Pretty.
Right, and that one's floating off of the table also.
It is. And you can see through it. Greg. It's not a woman.
Well, not yet. He might transition. We don't know yet. No. This is a senior photo shoot. And this was taken right behind the hardware store downtown New Braunfels. And I highly suggest you guys all shoot there because it pisses him off. I've never been cussed out so much in my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Everybody we should do a group photo shoot over there because he'll come out hot. This kid, he was senior in high school leaving for the military. He wanted one family photo shoot, and the property owner just came out just cussing. Anyways, shoot there, please. Let's all piss him off. But, you know, they always say shoot for the client and also shoot for yourself. So I told the kid, I was like, hey, this is going to be a depressing photo. This, you know, we did all the happy stuff, but then I was like, hey, I just want you to slump over, look down. This is going to be a depressing photo, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's my story on that.
So, I mean, it's public property, right? Outside of there?
Yeah, well, it's the back of his. Yeah, I mean, I've been told don't shoot here before, and no problem. But this guy just came out on fire, and I mean, totally crazy. If you guys even know, hey, I don't, you know, but I mean, it's a nice looking old barn back there. Take a couple shots, but yeah, I've just never been ran off a photo location like that before. Yeah, and it's just a barn in the back of an alley. It's not you know, you can walk there, drive it.
It's not public. It's his private stuff.
Well, but like the walkway or driveway beside belongs to him too?
No, it's just his property with those buildings on it. If it was on the sidewalk, that'd be a different story.
Oh, okay. So like him sitting on that, it's his property.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've shot down there before. I've shot down there before, and I was in the alleyway between the two buildings, and same reaction. The guy's a psycho. He came out. He came out yelling. I mean, I was just with a young lady in the alleyway between the two buildings, and the guy was just a complete jerk. So just be warned.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a nice photo. I like it.
Thank you.
Albert.
I am here waiting for it to appear. So that one is named Empire. I guess you guys can figure out why. I took that shot when I was, last time I was in New York. I eliminated some buildings that were on the right and the left, and I thought the clouds really worked that day, and it really stood out for me. So I chose it for my black and white picture.
Nice.
Yeah, excellent vignetting.
Thank you. A little bit of dodge and burn, and I think it made it work.
Yeah, it's really sharp too.
Okay. Ralph.
Yes, the nice foggy day. It was down at our dry creek right below the house. And I thought it made an interesting image.
Can't see it.
Oh, there it is.
Love the textures.
I like the angle. It's nice and low, a lower shot.
Thank you.
I like how silvery the grasses look.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, Barbara.
This is one of a series of the last total lunar eclipse, and I can't tell you exactly when it was, but I thought it fit the negative space and was an interesting picture of the moon. So I submitted it as a black and white and think it turned out pretty well.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's hard to find a good night to shoot some with all the atmosphere and the clouds.
And lights. Brian.
Well, I wanted this image to look like I was in a chase plane. So I have a collection of clouds, and I used my clouds that were close up, and this Mustang is right after wheels are up. So I'm on the ground, and I caught him panning. I mean, I was panning. And I said, if I change the perspective and scale a little bit on the plane, I might be able to pull it off. So that was my intent, to look like I was flying alongside them.
It worked.
Yeah, you were successful.
Yes, it really does.
Thank you.
Awesome job, man.
Very creative.
Yes.
I think I even commented on Facebook, what were you flying in beside that airplane? Wow. Good job, man.
Holly.
This is a really old picture. I think it's from 2012 or 2013. And Dominic is so little. He's almost 6 foot tall now. But I was studying composition and negative space and placement of subject, and kind of having your subject in the lower left corner is unexpected. You kind of travel from left to right and expect to scan the image. So when you find it right away, it's a little surprise. And I thought him kind of peeking out from behind the curtain added another element of surprise. And I haven't really ever shared it. So I was like, I'm going to put it out there and get some feedback.
Very nice.
It is. Lovely, and I love his eyes.
Yeah.
Nice shot. Very nice.
Sandy.
Yeah, this is a sunflower. So that's the reason I called it Reaching for the Sun. And there's not too much done to it other than converting it to the black and white. And I might have darkened a few of the areas, but not too much. That's about it.
Nice detail, though.
Thank you.
So silhouette, obviously a white sheet hanging behind them and a strobe just below where you could see where the glass is. Wanted to get just a pure white background and get just enough detail on the shadows of their faces so we can see their darkened cheeks, just a little bit of curves and eyes there. So that's what I was going for.
Successful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Dennis.
Yeah, this is just sort of a documentary picture of the main entrance to the Kremlin. Usually a lot of people around there, but it was Orthodox Christmas morning, and there was just one old lady who was standing there trying to shovel some snow, I believe. So
that's a good counterpoint, and she gives perspective too.
Mm-hmm. Those actual clouds, or did you?
No, those are actual clouds. It's 11:15, but on the 6th of January, it's, the sun doesn't come up until about, I don't know, 9 or 9:30 or something. So the sun wasn't too high in the sky, and it was kind of overcast, cloudy, maybe going to be stormy type thing.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
It's kind of a dramatic sky behind it. And the building is dramatic to start with.
It looks a lot better in black and white than it does in color, actually.
Really?
Well, it's more dramatic, the sky is.
Mm.
Yep, very nice.
Daryl.
Here again, the negative space is what I was talking about when I'm giving the title. It's summer there, because they're in the just off center to the right a little bit and lower. You see the outline of a couple of different continents, South America or Africa, and it's summer there now. That's where I got the title.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
Had to look at that a minute.
Yeah, me too. Okay. This one's mine. This is the Tower of Americas down in San Antonio. And I was down there last year for the rodeo parade, and afterwards went walking around for a little bit. So I just liked the perspective of this, kind of looking at it from afar, but still looking up.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. Yeah, you're right.
Patricia.
That's Miss Abby.
Got some great pictures of her.
She's my best model. If she gets tired, she just goes to sleep.
She's adorable.
Thank you.
Nice, such nice detail on her little face. What a sweetheart.
Thank you.
I hope you've framed some of those.
I have. I'm going to have an I Love Abby walls, what it's going to turn into.
It's cute. Okay, that is it. You go back to our, see if it, here we go. All right, so we just did all of our photos, and next month is straight out of camera, meaning that our photo for the assignment has to come straight out of the camera without even cropping. So no post-processing for next month only.
Does that mean just JPEG, or can we send in RAW? How do we do that?
JPEG is what I understand.
Yeah, I can only post JPEG to the website, so JPEG, please.
Okay, so if we shoot it in RAW, then no go, right? We have to shoot it in JPEG to be able to send it to you?
Yeah, if you want to, my camera, what I do for these kind of assignments is I'll shoot RAW and JPEG together. So if I want to use the image in the future, I can have a RAW version of it.
Yeah, okay. That's what I do all the time.
Okay.
What, may I have a question? Suppose something is shot in RAW. You don't do anything to it. You just, because that's the way I bring my pictures into my computer, is bring them in through Lightroom. Can I just immediately export it out as a JPEG?
Sure, you can.
Well, it depends on what kind of import settings you have in Lightroom, because if you have a certain profile set up where it automatically increases clarity or adjusts something for you, then no, that would count as post-processing.
But if you don't have anything like that, if it just comes in as a basic RAW file.
I guess I would have to defer to Victor on that one. I'm not sure.
Okay, the board discussed this a while back when we picked the topics for the year, okay? And like Holly says, the problem with importing into Lightroom and just making it a JPEG is some folks have presets set up on import. Some folks have presets set up on export. And when Holly gets to JPEG, it needs to be a JPEG that when she goes into the metadata, it doesn't say Photoshop or Lightroom.
Okay.
Okay, so what really needs to happen is you need to shoot in RAW and JPEG if you want to have a RAW file to work with later. But take the SD card, put it in your card reader on your computer, and use your File Explorer to go find the SD card, and then find the number of the photo you want, the JPEG photo you want, and then just drag that over to your desktop so that you can attach it to an email.
Okay.
That way there'll be no post-processing data associated with the JPEG.
But you can use whatever features your camera has to play.
Exactly. Okay. If we're saying straight out of camera, so whatever you're able to do to it in camera before you take the card out of the camera, that is fine. Okay. There's lots of, all the different cameras have different options. Okay. So I know every time I do with my Sony and I shoot in Illustrator or watercolor and I submit that photo for a critique, it, 9 out of 10 times, one of the things I'll get back is, I wish I could have seen the photo before you photoshopped it. And it's, it's straight out of camera. So there's different options. Every camera's a little different. And so just everybody take an opportunity to try to learn a little bit more about your camera. And those that already know the things your camera can do, go ahead and use it. Drive that Ferrari that you went out and paid a lot of money for as fast as it'll go. There's no reason to spend as much money as you do on a camera and drive it like it's a Volkswagen going 50 miles an hour.
So drive it like you stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drive it like you stole it.
Okay,
I like that.
One more question, not to be difficult, just to clarify. What about iPhone photos?
Oh, good question. Well, you're still making a JPEG. I would say if the camera app, only whatever camera app you're using to take the phone photo with, that whatever is in that app for the phone app, I don't think it'd be fair to say, okay, I took the cell phone picture and I ran it through the Lightroom Mobile, or I ran it through any of these other apps that apply textures and stuff like that. I don't think that would work.
No, I agree with that. I just wondered if iPhone photos were acceptable as, because I'm never sure exactly what their file format is.
It's a JPEG file.
Is it? Okay.
And there are, I don't know about iPhone, but an Android has a lot of settings that you can set before you take the picture.
Exactly. Whatever the, it's got to be the phone app if you're going to use a cell phone. Okay. The camera app, not any of the editing apps.
Right. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, the newer iPhones actually do have a setting for RAW where they can shoot in RAW.
Right.
Yeah. Mine does too, for an Android does too, but I don't typically use it.
And the iPhone natively is not doing JPEGs anymore. It's a different extension.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then you might want to use your SLR.
Sometimes all I've got with me is my phone.
Yeah, it's HEIC is the extension.
Can that be saved then as a JPEG?
It can. You open it if you have a Mac, like in Preview, and just save as JPEG.
Don't have a Mac.
Or you might just look at your, if you have an older phone,
yeah, mine's older.
Still be a JPEG. You might just look to see what the file, when you look at it and export it, or not export it, copy it over to your computer and look to see what the extension is. Okay, so that's all I have for tonight. Does anybody want to do a roundtable when I can get this back up?
Melissa, while you're pulling that up, I just want to say thanks to the folks that volunteered to be judges. We've got Jeff, Holly, Jerry, and Sandy volunteered to be on the panel this time. So guys, I will send you an email later in the week with possible dates. And everybody, you still, for the interclub, the PSA interclub competition, you still send your photos to Dennis. Dennis will get them all together and then send them to me, and I'll send them out to the panel. Or Dennis, you can just send them to all 5 of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Or send it to me and I'll do it. And then while the meeting was going on, I hopped on my wife's iPad so I could go to Facebook. For everybody that might not know it, I'm not really doing a whole lot of Facebook now. But I went and looked on my wife's pad and looked at those pictures, and congratulations to Eric, Sandy, and Greg for scoring those 9s on those photos y'all submitted. That was excellent work. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
I think Beverly got a 9 as well, if I'm remembering correctly.
Who? I'm sorry.
Beverly.
Yeah, I think she did.
Was it in color or black and white?
Assignment.
It was assignment.
Yeah, assignment.
Oh, assignment in black and white. Okay, I'll go back and look. I might have skipped over it. I got the fat fingers.
I want to say there
iPad.
were 4 people.
So okay, that works. Eric, Sandy, Greg, and Beverly. Or Barbara.
Are you looking at it now, Lee?
No, yeah, I don't have it now.
For assignment photos, it was Beverly Cobb.
Okay.
Eric Bowden, Sandy Gilbert got 9s for assignment photos.
Okay. And
congratulations.
Greg and Eric was down in black and white, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we had 5 9s this time.
Yeah.
And Eric scored 2 of them. Well done.
Yeah. Good job. Good job to all of you. A lot of good photos there.
Okay. Thanks for volunteering, you guys. So now let's just do a round table. See if anybody has anything they want to add. Marty, did you hang up, Marty? He must have hung up just now. Barbara?
I'm good.
Brian?
I'm good. I've really enjoyed tonight's sessions.
Eric?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Tonight was great.
Patricia?
No, thank you.
Albert?
Good, thank you.
Edward? You're muted.
No, it's all good. Thanks.
Sharon?
If Albert's there still, I'm going to send you the promo code that you can use at Digital Pro Labs by email.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Frank?
I'm good. Thanks.
Jerry?
I'm good. Thank you.
Beverly?
I'm good.
Nicholas? You're on mute.
That's me. I'm good.
You're good? Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you come back.
Mine too.
Holly?
I don't have anything. Thanks. Great meeting.
Albert?
I'm good. Thank you.
Beverly?
I'm good.
Dennis?
Nothing.
And Victor?
I don't have anything. Just y'all keep taking pictures and stay positive, but test negative.
All right, that's it for tonight, you guys. Have a great month.
You as well.
Looking forward to next month's contributions.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
Good night. Victor, I don't have to do anything for you to finish up with the videoing, right?
Now, I think once we terminate the meeting, the video will start to render, and it'll take a little while. So it probably won't be on the YouTube channel till sometime tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Everybody take care.
Okay. Night.